everyone, my name's Ercy and welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to give you my January TBR. It's a little late, but I'm here for it anyways. So if this is something you want to see, then I hope you stick around. So for this month's TBR, these 6 books that I'm going to talk to you guys about, sort of 7, are all books that are part of our group's choices for the self-published science fiction competition that I just so happen to be one of the judges on. I am part of Team Dragons in Space, and that team is led by Fine from Fine Reads, and we have until the end of this month to finish reading these 7 books that I am here to tell you guys all about. So what's cool with this competition is that all of the books are science fiction books and they are self-published. We started out with a group of 29 books and we narrowed it down. We did sort of like a taste test for all of these books and we narrowed it down to our top 7. And out of these top 7, we're gonna narrow it down to 3, I believe 3, and then we send that off to be part of the pool of books that the other groups from the competition, the other teams, also narrowed down as well. So out of the 29 books, we are going to pick a top 3 and it's just going to go on from there. I believe this is like a year-long competition kind of thing, where we're just going to be reading through the books and just giving our honest opinions about. We'll share our thoughts on them. If people have like their platforms, whether it be Instagram or YouTube, they're going to be putting out reviews for these books, or at least their thoughts on them. After I give out this video, you're going to start seeing these reviews for the books, majority of the ones that I'm going to be talking about today, along with stuff that we're going to be reading throughout the competition and stuff. On top of the books that I'm going to read, I'm also going to be reading some audiobooks, but I won't talk about them too much because I feel like with those it's just going to be mood reading, whatever I feel like, whatever's available through my library. So I'm not going to talk about those because I don't really have any definitive plans, but at least for these books, there is a plan. I have to get them done by the end of the month. I already read one, I'm halfway through another one, and I need to step up my game a little bit because I want to be able to get all of them done by the end of this month. So without further ado, let me show you what these 7 books are that our team narrowed down for the self-published science fiction competition. The first book I'm going to talk about is Derelict by Mark All, and this one is like a science fiction thriller book. Definitely feels like an action movie kind of book. This is one that I actually read last month, and so the premise of this book is if you find alien technology, do not turn it on. So pretty much we have this group that is led by Commander Hollander, or Captain Hollander I should say, and she is leading this group and she's out there trying to prove herself. They're on a surveying type mission and they encounter a planet that is unclaimed. But when they arrive, they wind up seeing another ship there that has been abandoned. So they need to find out what happened to the ship, and while on this ship, they find this alien artifact. Her crew starts disappearing. She needs to figure out what's going on, what happened to the previous crew so it doesn't happen to her crew. It's very suspenseful and a little terrifying, but I'll give you more thoughts on that when I actually put out a dedicated review for this book, because this is one that I did read last month. But spoiler alert, I really did enjoy this one, so it was pretty fun. So that's the first book out of this little group of ours. The second book that I'm going to talk about is called Lottery to Heaven by William G. And now this book seems really interesting because it's sort of like a dystopian type of book, where the premise for this one goes, Jennifer feels nothing but contempt for the new world and those choosing to abscond there. For the richest few, the new world represents an escape from the dying earth, a place to start anew. With every launch, a global lottery is convened to select one lucky winner to accompany each paying passenger. Jennifer is cast into the lottery without her knowledge. She is pretty much going to unravel the motivations for the lottery, along with 4 other winners. It's very dystopian in nature, and I'm pretty excited for this one. The next book has the creepiest cover ever, and I'm so down to do a sort of makeup style review for this one because this cover is so dope. This one is called Clowns by Peter Cauldron, and this was a really surprising book. This is one that we chose to taste test on a reading sprint over on Phoenix channel, and it gripped all of us. So humanity's first contact with an intelligent extraterrestrial species exploring the solar system occurred over a decade ago. But there was only one man involved, and his name was Buster the Clown. And since then, he's established a sort of counterculture group called the Clowns, and they seek to radically overhaul society. The synopsis continues on from there, but the first few chapters were super gripping and caught us all by surprise, and I'm pretty excited to continue reading this one. I feel like I'm gonna fly through this one because of how hooked we are just from the beginning of this book. So that is Clowns by Peter Cauldron. The next book that I'm going to talk about is Hammer and Crucible by Cameron Cooper. And now this is the first in a space opera series in which our main character, Danny, who is an ex-Imperial Ranger who lives on her family ship, waiting to die of old age, something that doesn't happen because humanity has overcome aging. They found ways to overcome, and the only way that you'd really die of aging is if you allow yourself to age, which I think is a really cool concept. She soon learns that the mission that ruined her reputation might have been arranged by the Emperor of the Fourth Caranaut Empire, which stretches across hundreds of light years. I was a little confused by the premise of this one. I'm not sure if the enemy is supposed to be like this AI entity kind of organization, or if it's like the Empire, maybe it's both, I don't know. But I'll get some more clarity as I start reading through this book a little more. One that I'm currently in the middle of is called Shakedowners by Justin Woolley. And now this one seems pretty funny. This is about Captain Iridius B. Franklin. He's a space captain who hasn't really done much in terms of honor. He graduated at the bottom of his class, you know, that sort of deal. Like, he's got a job, but he's not like amazingly obsessed with his job, right? But his job and his crew's job is essentially to test ships for faults before the real crew takes over. And so when the Earth is attacked, he and his crew find themselves in a position way over the heads as they are sort of forced to help figure out what happened to the planet and how to help humanity. Alright, this next one is called Bloodlines by Peter Hartog. And now this one gives me like Dresden Files kind of vibes, where we have a detective that specializes in things that seem a little bit out of the ordinary. We got a case where a woman's body is found drained of blood. Sounds like vampires, maybe a little bit more than that. But this is definitely like a supernatural type thriller book. So I'm curious to see how the extraterrestrialness or the sci-fi kind of comes into this, because it feels a little like urban fantasy, but we'll see. And now this last one has me a little nervous because this one is called Estes or Aestus by S.Z. Atwell, and this is a really big book, so I'm hoping to be able to read this while I'm on my little vacation. We're doing like a little family style type vacation soon, so this one is another dystopian where the Earth is very, very hot, and we have these underground cities that were created in order to escape the heat of the Earth. So we got a little bit of climate change talk going on with this one as well. So our main character, Josie, she's a solar engineer, and while she is cast to investigate threats from these creatures that are above ground, the terror might actually be within the city itself. This is a chunky book, and I'm hoping to fit this one in, so that way my opinion counts when it actually comes to this book. It's just a really long book, so I'm hoping to be able to get through all of it. But anyways, so those are all the books that I plan on reading for this month. Very short and sweet TBR. I hope to be able to get to all of them. My only issue with this is that, or my only struggle with this is that these are all ebooks, so I have to read all of them on my Kindle. Usually I like to diversify my books, like I'll have some audio, some ebooks, some physical books, That way I can, you know, read while I'm doing dishes, you know what I mean? Or read while I'm on a drive. But being that these are all on my Kindle, I have to find a way to prioritize that time to get through all of these books. So that will be my challenge this month. So wish me luck. I did have a little bit of time to actually get to these books, but with the holidays and everything, it's just been a little difficult, but holidays are over. So let's see how this goes. If you have read any of these books or if any of them sound interesting to you, I'd love to hear from you in the comment section of this video. If you enjoyed this video, I'd appreciate it if you gave this video a like and maybe even subscribed if you haven't been subscribed already. I hope you have an amazing day, and I hope your reading goes just as well as mine probably will this month. I hope you have an amazing day, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.